Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a corner of the crypto world that just had a massive, record-shattering month. We're not talking Bitcoin, we're not talking Ethereum, so what is it? And why is it suddenly taking on the biggest names in the game? Let's get into it. Okay, let's just start with this number. $1 trillion. Now, this isn't some new coin's market cap. No. This is the trading volume, the amount of money changing hands for one very specific type of financial product. And get this, that's in just 1 month. So right away, you've got to be asking two things. What is this market that can pull in numbers like that? And why is it blowing up right now? All right, to even begin to wrap our heads around that trillion-dollar figure, we have to talk about the tool at the heart of all this. It's called a decentralized perpetual swap, or as pretty much everyone calls it, a perp. So what in the world is a perp? Well, think of it like this. It's basically a way to bet on where a crypto's price is headed. You're not actually buying or selling Bitcoin itself. Instead, you're getting a contract that pays you if you guess right, whether the price goes up or down. And the perpetual part, that's the real magic here. Most contracts like this have an expiration date. These don't, ever. You can keep your bet open for an hour, a week, a year. It's totally up to you. Okay, so what's the big deal? Why are traders flocking to these things? Well, honestly, it's kind of like a trader's dream toolkit. First off, you get 24/7 access, because, crypto markets never close. Then there's high leverage. This means you can use a little bit of your own money to control a much bigger position, which, fair warning, can amplify your wins and your losses. And maybe most importantly, you can make money whether the market's going up or down. It's an incredibly flexible tool. Right, so you can see why they're popular. Now let's talk about the absolute explosion we just saw this past October. And when I say explosion, the numbers are just, wow, they're genuinely staggering. This really puts it all into perspective. The previous record, which was set back in August, was about $762 billion. And that was a huge number, everyone was talking about it. But then October came along. And the market didn't just beat that record, it absolutely smashed it, blowing past $1 trillion with a full week still left in the month. Insane. And you know what's interesting? This isn't just one platform running away with it. No, this is a whole ecosystem heating up, with different players competing for the top spot. You've got a platform called Hyperliquid leading the charge. They did over $317 billion in volume themselves. But you've got others like Lighter and Aster breathing down their necks, putting up some seriously huge numbers of their own. And it's not like this was just a slow and steady climb. The intensity is what's really wild here. Get this, on one single day, October 10th, these platforms handled 78 times billion dollars in trades. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire yearly economic output of a lot of countries, all traded in just 24 hours. So, where does all this activity fit in the grand scheme of things? Well, to really get it, we've got to look at the kings versus the contenders. We're going to compare these new decentralized exchanges, DEXs for short, with the centralized giants, the CEXs, that have basically ruled the crypto world for years. Okay, so look, the big established players like Binance and Bybit, they still do more business on an average day, right? Around $95 billion combined. But look at how close these decentralized upstarts got on their best day, $78 billion. That's not just a small dent. The gap is closing, and it is closing fast. And that right there is the big story. For the very first time, we're seeing these decentralized alternatives put up numbers that are a genuine threat to the old guard. This isn't some tiny niche corner of crypto anymore. This is going mainstream, and it's happening right before our eyes. So inside this massive trend, there's one name that keeps popping up. The one leading the pack. The one that seems to have really cracked the code. We've got to zoom in on this platform called Hyperliquid. Now, according to Kyle Warwick, and this is a guy who's a veteran founder in the space, he says, look, decentralized perps aren't new. They've been around for years. But what he's saying is that Hyperliquid, they're the ones who finally got it right. They're the breakthrough that figured out how to make it work smoothly and successfully on a massive scale. And a huge part of their success is just making it easy. Seriously. They integrated with MetaMask, which is one of the biggest, most popular crypto wallets in the world. And by doing that, they suddenly made these advanced trading tools accessible to millions of people. Something that used to be super complicated, really just for the experts, is now literally just a few clicks away. That's a game changer, and it's a huge reason why the volume is just exploding. Okay, so let's pull back for a second.
We've seen these insane record-breaking numbers. We've seen the gap closing with the big dogs. And we've seen how much easier it is to get started. So, what does this all mean? What is this trend really telling us about where crypto is heading?
And that really brings us to the big final question here. As these decentralized platforms get easier and easier to use, maybe even as easy as the big centralized ones, are we watching the beginning of the end for the old guard? You know, for years, just a handful of huge companies have dominated crypto trading. But $1 trillion month? Well, that kind of feels like their dominance is finally facing a serious challenge.